I know it's hard, I know it's complicated, but I promised you've been waiting here forever. I had a much to say, but you're not here with me, no. We're invincible, like fire in the snow. Trust me when I say you are my beautiful world, and I'm feeling it all, we should make an effort. It's true you're so far away, and it's true you don't feel the same. But if you take my hand, we can try and go back, starting from scratch. I won't let you go, no I can't let you go, 'cause you're my gravity, and I will never leave. I won't let you go, no baby I will not, because I still believe. You're my gravity. You will never be what I expected. Different frequencies, that's why we ain't connected. You know I will make it through, I got nothing to lose but you. It's true you're so far away, and it's true I can feel the same. It's another day, you know you want me to stay, but I go my way. I won't let you go, no I can't let you go, 'cause you're my gravity, and I will never leave. I won't let you go, no baby I will not, because I still believe. You're my gravity. You're my gravity. You're calling out my name, but the echo numbs your pain. Sorry, but more than just a shadow, I'm more than just a man. You don't care how I feel, you don't know how I feel. No, you don't know how. I wash away the sorrow till my heart can beat again. You're my gravity. No, you're my gravity. I will let you go, the only thing that I know. You were my gravity, but now I have to leave. I will let you go. Why do you feel that I want? What do you think that I want? I know how to breathe into my gravity, into my gravity, into my gravity, into my gravity, into my gravity. I know it's hard, I know it's complicated, but I promised you've been waiting here forever. I had a much to say, but you're not here with me, no. We're invincible, like fire in the snow. Trust me when I say you are my beautiful world, and I'm feeling it all, we should make an effort. It's true you're so far away, and it's true you don't feel the same. But if you take my hand, we can try and go back, starting from scratch. I won't let you go, no I can't let you go, 'cause you're my gravity, and I will never leave. I won't let you go, no baby I will not.
Warning. The Duracell Cup Series data file you have attempted to access is out of date. Uploading current file now.
It's a brand new car from stem to stern, and it's never been raced at these speeds.
The next gen car is opportunity.
Everything is different with the exception of like the seat, the steering wheel, and your helmet.
Unknown creates excitement.
Talking about my generation.
Good afternoon, race fans, and welcome here as we get set for the 5th race of the 2nd season of the NNSCRA Duracell Ultra Lite Series. Ready to go points racing finally here in the desert at Phoenix International Raceway. 94 laps await these drivers here this afternoon, and we ended up yesterday having our pole day qualifying. Saw a lot of passing during that point. As mentioned, we ended up having just about everybody in the field turn at least 25 laps in that qualifying session, kind of figure out what their long-run car was going to feel like. And with that being said, we can probably expect to see a lot of passing here today, which normally is not something that we associate with Phoenix, but based off of the package we've got here, not only with the Lights cars, but tomorrow afternoon with the Cup cars as well, it may actually be where we will see some good racing for the top position. One driver that certainly hopes that it doesn't come down to track position here today and that passing is possible is Cam Wright Jr. He comes into this race as your points leader, but he starts shotgun on the field. On the flip side, a driver that hopes it's all about track positions, the guy that clocked in the fastest lap in pole day qualifying yesterday, that is Jackson Haywood, picking up his first career pole as he will share the front row with Eli Bright. Very close still for the point standings. Only 4 races under these drivers' belt. Your top 5 in points are only separated by 5 points, so very likely that Cam Wright Jr. coming in the points leader may not leave here today as the points leader, but we got to figure out what's going to happen here from the green flag to the checkered flag. And another thing that's kind of interesting too, I was up and down pit road talking to crew chiefs, trying to figure out the strategy if there is going to be a pit stop here today, and amazingly enough, they said if there is going to be a pit stop, it will more than likely be for tires. They can go quite a ways on fuel. I heard anywhere from 85 laps to 90 laps. These drivers might be able to save if the pace backs down enough towards the midway portion of this race to be able to make it the entirety of the 94 laps, but I guarantee you their Goodyears are not going to look good when we get closer to the end of this race. So it may be a pit stop midway through this race out of necessity just to get the grip back that they lose on their Goodyear rubber. But enough talk, it's time to go down trackside, get those most famous words in motorsports, and get ready to go racing here in Phoenix.
Gentlemen, start your engines!
Keep an eye on your temps for this first segment. We shouldn't really be in danger of overheating, but it will, probably get up to about 220, so just keep an eye on that.
Right side of your screen, you see the starting lineup for this afternoon's race from Phoenix. Mentioned about the fact it's really close to top the point standings. Cam Wright Jr., 1 point over Skylar Taylor, 2 points over Berta Crown Jr., 4 over Kyle Langland, and 5 over Aubrey Powell. Your top 10 in points separated by 19 points. So really, really close. Cannot afford a mistake here this afternoon. 94 laps of racing with the 93 on the pole position. Start-finish line on the old configuration here on the old front straightaway. In my opinion, the best configuration of Phoenix. The dog leg over on the back straightaway. As here we go. Ford and Toyota. And the Basha Supermarket 94 is green at Phoenix. Mike Tellier forcing the issue on the backstretch. 3 wide for the top position, headed for 3. Eli Bright trying to clear on the top, can't do it. Haywood back alongside of him. Tellier still down the bottom. Wide arc there off the corner for Eli Bright. Might possibly be clear for the top spot as he led the first lap. Ooh, he cleared Haywood, did not clear Tellier. He gets pushed up the track, and we're still 3 wide there for around the 3rd position. Tellier is going to get the top spot. Now Roberto Crown Jr. to the bottom on the 17. Still 3 wide, 2 rows deep. 3 wide for 4th, 3 wide for 7th. Haywood from the pole, now back in a hornet's nest around the 6th position. Michael Turner to his inside, our winner from Vegas. Eli Bright to his outside. 3 wide ahead of him, here comes Sarah Fogelman in only her 2nd start of the season. She's going to take it to Chris Dollerton, put him in the middle. Tellier up on the top after Tellier lost the lead to Roberto Crown Jr. Is it possible to pass? I think we're getting the answer. It is definitely possible to pass, and it is possible to battle here as well in the desert. As now Tellier way, way up out of the groove. No grip there through 1 and 2. Going to lose a couple of spots. Trackhouse 1-2. Roberto Crown Jr., Sarah Fogelman 1st and 2nd. Teammates out of Michael Norman Motorsports battle for 3rd. Turner on the bottom, Dollerton on the top. Give the spot to Turner off of 4. Toyota, then Ford, your top 5. Eli Bright has finally made his way down to the bottom of the racetrack, trying to work his way back forward. He's alongside of Mike Tellier for the 5th position. Aubrey Powell sticking it in back there, 3 wide on Jordan Anderson. Haywood still up on the top going the wrong way. Couple of the Haas Racing cars with the new sponsorship now for the rest of the season up here. Colin Grace, last time by scored in 6th. The Exalta machine, and then just below him, the 71, the Interstate Batteries machine of Aubrey Powell, who is 5th in points coming into this race. Gained 7 spots in the standings last week. 5 points out of the points lead, and right now up inside of the top 10. But they are all chasing Roberto Crown Jr., who came into this race 3rd in points, only 2 points out of the points lead, and one of the few drivers that came into this 2nd season of Duracell Ultra Lights as a former winner in Lights competition, picking up a victory back in Season 1. Nose to tail amongst the top 3. Roberto Crown Jr., Sarah Fogelman, and then Michael Turner. Turner looking for his 3rd win on the season. His 2nd win on the season, and his 2nd win in 3 races. As now, to the inside, the 5-hour Energy Toyota Supra of Sarah Fogelman. And if they stay side by side for too long, that's going to bring Chris Dollerton, Mike Tellier, Colin Grace, drivers that are back there up to their back bumper. Actually, no, what's going to bring them up is the caution. The caution just flew. First time today, yellow flag will wave at Phoenix on lap number 8. Sarah Fogelman will lead them back to the yellow. There's a photo finish there for 2nd place. I believe scoring is giving it to Michael Turner. Then Roberto Crown Jr., Chris Dollerton, and Mike Tellier. Let's stay here before we go and look at what the replay of what brought out the caution is. Let's see if these drivers hit pit road, because if fuel is a concern, I would think you probably want to pit here under this caution, since you don't necessarily have a guarantee we're going to see another yellow for the rest of the race. If they were short on fuel, even by 5 laps, do you maybe come to pit road here? Let's see if anybody makes the dive onto pit lane. Nope, pit road's going to be a ghost town. Nobody, at least up at the front, making the dive onto pit road, so that will take us back here to your replay to see what brought out the caution for the first time here this afternoon. May have had something to do with Craig Batson making his 2nd start on the season, and I think he gets a little assistance on the back straightaway here. That's Sean Galligan in the 62 right behind him. And Sean's already into his left rear quarter panel, loops him around. Brody Kupski nowhere to go. He makes contact with the front end as well in the 41. And so an incident towards the rear of the field brings out the caution for the first time this afternoon. We'll get another look at it here. Yeah, it looks like Galligan pushed up a little bit there as well. And that got him even more so into the left rear quarter panel of the Bobcat Ford Dark Horse Mustang. And then Brody Kupski, just wrong place, wrong time, wrong line. Gets swept up into it as well. Looked like very minimal contact, though, for all three drivers involved. All should be able to continue. And none of them were running all that well at that point in time. They were all towards the rear of the field, so they didn't lose much in terms of track position. So we should get the lights out this next time by, I should assume, since nobody came to pit road. Even the drivers involved in that incident, Kupski, Batson, Galligan, none of them made the dive onto pit lane. So, let's take a look at what's coming up around the turn, presented by NNSCRA Paint Designs. And tomorrow afternoon at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we cap off what's been an exciting race weekend here from the Phoenix International Raceway with the Cobalt Tools 125, the Duracell Next Gen Cup Series drivers' 5th race of the season. Then we pack it up and get ourselves ready for Under the Lights nighttime short track racing, as it's 7 o'clock on Friday night. It'll be the qualifying session for these Duracell Ultra Light Series drivers. Saturday night at 5 p.m., it's the Cup Series. They'll be qualifying, and then these Duracell Ultra Light Series drivers, they'll be on track at 7 p.m. Eastern on that Saturday night for the 6th race of the season. And then the following Sunday at 7 is the Cup drivers to cap off the historical week at North Wilkesboro. And I can't help but think, when we think about North Wilkesboro, you know, you think short track, you think track position, but I remember back a couple of seasons ago to when Daniel Voiles qualified dead last in the Cup race. And where did he finish? P1. So it is definitely a track that it is possible to pass at. Much like here today. We weren't certain if it was going to be a track position racetrack or not, but so far we've had 3 drivers out in front. Eli Bright, Roberta Crown Jr., and most recently Sarah Fogelman. So far, Trackhouse Racing has had a stranglehold on the lead and the laps led bonus points. But you see the lights are out atop the pace car, so we're getting ready to go back green on lap 13. Sarah Fogelman will get us back underway. Michael Turner will line up in second. Roberta Crown Jr., Chris Dollerton, and Mike Tellier will be the top 5. Colin Grace will restart 6th. Anthony McCrory in 7th. Aubrey Powell 8th. Eli Bright in 9th. And Kyle Langland will be 10th. That caution was a big break for Jackson Haywood, the pole sitter. He was continuing to free fall. He will restart in 13th. We'll see if now, with everybody all kind of bunched up here in single file, if he can make his way back up to the front. Start on the pole has yet to lead a lap this afternoon. Green flag back in the air here at Phoenix. Sarah Fogelman gets us back underway. Again, as mentioned, only her 2nd start on the season. She alternates that ride with Cup Series regular Reggie Fogelman. And Sarah, so far in her 1 start, started 9th, finished 11th. Running much better than that here this afternoon, as she's had an exchange for 5th. Colin Grace, I saw, got around Mike Tellier to crack the top 5. Tellier now under fire from Anthony McCrory and Aubrey Powell. With the single file restart as well, a little bit more spaced out, a lot more options for drivers to be able to try the multiple different lanes for passing for position. Chris Dollerton going to work on Roberto Crown Jr., trying to pick up the 3rd position. Roberto Crown Jr. going to battle back there on that top side. Looks like the top really good off of turn 4. Not able to stay alongside of the Shell Pennzoil Ford though for now, and Colin Grace is on the move. Got around Roberta Crown Jr. for 4th. Now takes the 3rd position from Chris Dollerton. Might have the fastest car on the racetrack right now, at least, since the restart. Might that 27. And Colin Grace comes into this 13th in points, only 1 top 10 on the season, so be a perfect time to get hot. Michael Turner trying to put the pressure on Sarah Fogelman for the race lead, about 2 car length separation. And closing up very quickly is Colin Grace, who that last time by almost ran the fastest lap of the entire race. Michael Turner has the fastest lap so far at a 28.380. Colin Grace just ran a 3.89, only 9 thousandths off. And I believe just ran the fastest lap of the race right there, did Colin Grace, at a 28.331. Michael Turner feeling that pressure, now on the back bumper of Sarah Fogelman, realizing that 27 is catching both of them and might make short work of him if he catches them. Chris Dollerton hanging there in the 4th position, then a bit of a gap back to Roberto Crown Jr. Mike Tellier now has another Haas car that's on the move on his back bumper, that being Aubrey Powell in the 71. Anthony McCrory right there as well in the 55. Mentioned about the fact Anthony, one of 2 Cup interlopers here this weekend in the Duracell Ultra Light Series race, getting a little bit more experience for tomorrow's Cup race. The other driver is RJ Bishop out of the Bishop Family Racing, and RJ specifically running this race because this is his home track. Right now RJ mired back in the 19th position. We'll see if he can make his way further up to the front, trying to put on a good showing for his home crowd. 2nd place just exchanged. Colin Grace gets around Michael Turner and now sets his sights on Sarah Fogelman. We knew at the beginning of the season it was going to be an interesting battle between the 2 major Toyota teams, Trackhouse Racing and Haas Racing. And right now, you're seeing the battle up at the front as Colin had to back out of the throttle a little bit there to avoid running over Sarah Fogelman. That opens up the door for Michael Turner to battle to the inside, try and take the 2nd spot back. But that outside line through 3 and 4, you can see just how good it is, especially on the entry through the center. Colin clear, maybe? Yes. Michael Turner going to let the 27 down in line. Obviously very early on in the season, but we do start formulating the playoff grid even this early on in the year. And right now, the Lights format, where we end up having 7 drivers make it in on points and then 3 drivers get in via the wild card spot. Right now, the 7 drivers coming into this race that would be your points drivers would be Cam Wright Jr., Skylar Taylor, Roberto Crown Jr., Kyle Langland, Aubrey Powell, Juan Garcia, and Jackson Haywood. Your wild card spots would go to 2 former winners, Michael Turner, who is 10th overall in points, and Cole Koibe, our winner from Manassas, who is 14th overall in points. Final spot would go to the driver highest in the point standings without a win, which right now, coming into this race, would have been Ralph Mason, 8th in overall standings. Well, Colin Grace looked really fast after he got up to Michael Turner, but has not been able to do anything with Sarah Fogelman, and Turner now putting the pressure again on the 27 in a side-by-side battle for 2nd place, which is going to help the 11 car out, because all she has to do is hit her marks, and she's got the optimal lane that she wants through every corner. Doesn't have to adhere to anybody's braking zone. That's allowing her to be able to pull away. In turn, it's allowing Chris Dollerton and Roberto Crown Jr. to close up and maybe make it a 4-car fight for the runner-up spot. Turner clear for the runner-up spot off of turn number 4. Now Dollerton looking to put 2 Michael Norman Motorsports Mustangs in the podium. Roberto Crown Jr. had a great qualifying effort here this afternoon, looking to try and make the most of it. Cam Wright Jr., if you're trying to figure out where the points leader is right now, last time by he was scored in 21st. Skylar Taylor is currently in 8th. Kyle Langland right now is scored in 10th, and Aubrey Powell is currently in 9th. So right now, based off my rough math, I believe that Roberto Crown Jr. would have the points lead heading into North Wilkesboro if they were all to finish where they were last scored. But there's still a long ways to go in this race. And again, doesn't look like fuel is going to be a major concern this afternoon, because if it was, we've already worked one caution. That was back on lap 8, and nobody hit pit road. If it was that concerning as far as whether they could make it the full distance on fuel, I think they would have pitted then and there. And since they didn't, especially with having the pacing laps there under the caution to be able to work with, I think it's going to come down now really to tire conservation. Who's going to be able to preserve those good years for the long run? Well, Michael Turner and Colin Grace, they were working against each other and battling for second. They are now tandeming together to get back up to the bumper of Sarah Fogelman. Let's drop a little bit further back in the field. There is Skylar Taylor, side by side with Mike Tellier. That would be for 7th place. Of course, Skylar, a 2-time winner last season, opened up the year with the win at Daytona. 1 point out of the points lead coming into this afternoon, and having another solid outing in that Costco Mazda as he completes the pass on Tellier. Moved Tellier back to 8th, now under fire from Aubrey Powell. Ralph Mason right now holding down the 10th position. Nathan Stapleton right behind in 11th. Cody Majorek in 12th. A lot of these cars are backup cars. If you didn't tune in yesterday to pole day qualifying, we had an incident on the back straightaway. Don't really know how it started, but know that about half the field piled in. So a lot of teams had to go to backup cars here in preparation for this race. They didn't give up their qualifying positions. That's not a thing that we have here in either the Lights or the Cup Series qualifying, but kind of a little bit of an unknown on how their backup cars were going to perform, and a lot of them looking good, a lot of them not looking all that great. One driver that has really shocked me is Jackson Haywood. I'm not exactly certain what has happened with that car. He started on the pole position. We saw him free-falling, which I attributed to just the fact that he got put in the middle 3 wide on the very first lap of this race. But he has drifted all the way back to the 26th position now. And that is after we ended up having the single-file restart. And now caution is out again. Second time today. So maybe they can make some adjustments on that car. And we were towards the back of the pack there when we checked on Jackson Haywood, and I didn't see anybody out of shape that he bypassed, so I'm not necessarily all that certain what brought out this yellow. I'm almost wondering if it might have been a half-spin save. And now they're going to come to pit road. Okay, so they decided not to pit in the early going, I guess because they didn't need to come down for tires. They didn't want to get up the track position. Now that they got 30 laps under the belt, now they want to come down for the fresh tires. So this, I think, will make it where fuel will no longer be a concern. But then again, who knows? It is CTS physics, so there is a lot more fall off. We'll follow this here and see who wins the battle off of pit road. We'll keep it here on the 11 of Sarah Fogelman as they'll go around to the right side. I assume this is going to be a 4-tire pit stop. I don't know if you would necessarily want to do 2 tires here at Phoenix. Phoenix is a very abrasive racetrack on your good years. And service complete on the 11, down and away. Here comes Colin Grace. Michael Turner. Oh, that's going to be close. Roberto Crown Jr. and Fogelman just barely is going to win the battle off of pit road over the 27, the 18, and the 02. That was really, really close. But great job there, keeping the top position. Sarah Fogelman will now go and pick up the pace car, and we will drop back and see just what exactly was it that brought out this yellow, because I didn't see anybody with an issue. I didn't see any lingering smoke. I feel like we ended up having a half spin. It just kind of the vibes I'm getting from just what I saw through the field. We will see if we can pinpoint what it was that brought out the yellow. I'm going to be honest, I don't see it. Huh. Looks like we may have had ourselves a little phantom caution or something. Nobody out of the race. And if we bring it back here on the replay, there's the lights going on the pace car. We're going to cycle you all the way through the field. There is nobody out of shape. Side-by-side battle there, but no contact between Kupski and Batson. Absolutely nothing going on there. Nobody blew up. I don't know what exactly the reason for this yellow flag was. But whatever it was, it has now got the field bunched back up again. But with that pit stop, though, that is the opportunity for drivers who may not necessarily have had a very good race car to make an adjustment, see if they can start working their way up through the field. 38 of Cole Koibe had a lengthy pit stop on pit road. I wonder if something happened with him. He is going to start shotgun on the field. When we cycled through there, we didn't see any contact or anything. I wonder if he had a tire down and there might have been some debris. That might have been the case. Nonetheless, though, getting ready to go back green. It'll be with 60 laps to go. Sarah Fogelman still out in front. She has led the last 26 laps. Colin Grace will now line up in second. Roberto Crown Jr. in third. Then Chris Dollerton and Michael Turner to the top 5. Anthony McCurry is 6th. Skylar Taylor 7th. Mike Tellier in 8th. 9th is Ralph Mason. And Cody Majoric is going to complete the top 10. Aubrey Powell lost a ton of positions on pit road. Was up inside of the top 10. Going to restart back in 19th place. So 71 team dropping the ball on the pit stop. Green flag set to fly once again. And Colin Grace going right to work. Had a really good short run car on the last restart. Taking advantage of it here on this restart. No fight going to be able to be put up by Sarah Fogelman. Colin Grace easily to the point. Colin Grace is able to lead this lap, be the 4th different driver out in front this afternoon. Michael Turner driving it in deep there on his teammate for the 4th position through 3 and 4. And Colin Grace will indeed lead lap 35's completion. Dollerton stuck up there on the top side. Michael Turner made the hole. Anthony McCurry stuck his nose in there. Looking to move up into the top 5. Anthony had a strong run last week as a Cup interloper at Pocono. Didn't really translate to a great finish, but he spent most of the day up inside of the top 5, top 10. Had a really strong race car then, has a really strong race car now as he almost gets bumped out of the way by Mike Tellier. That'll be for 6th. And Skylar Taylor making his way up here towards the front. Big block there. Dollerton trying to make the move on Turner. Turner moves down to cover. Got to be careful on those late blocks because right there, that's a teammate, the 40 to the 02. Anybody else might not have lifted. Mike Tellier making some moves here in that 17. Got around McCurry. Now trying to get around Chris Dollerton. He put the bumper to the 40 last time out of turn 4. Tried to get him a little loose. Right up on his rear deck lid again through 3 and 4 as 4 cars, 4 different lanes there from 2nd through 5th. Going through the final couple of corners. Now Turner to the left rear quarter panel of Roberto Crown Jr. for 2nd place. Correction, for 3rd place. And he will take the spot. Mike Tellier going to follow suit. You know, obviously, Sarah Fogelman, with this only being her 2nd start. Oh my gosh, what a big save by Mike Tellier as Dollerton repaid back the favor of the bump and nearly spun the 17 out. Turner now going for 2nd on Sarah Fogelman, but you look at some of the drivers up here towards the front having a good run that really needed a running pretty low in the point standings. Mike Tellier is one of those drivers, 21st in the standings, still searching for his first top 10 on the year. Right now up inside of the top 5. Chris Dollerton 15th in the point standings. Had a good run last week at Pocono to move up 6 spots in the standings, but only 1 top 10 the first 4 starts. A former Cup Series champion. And how about Nathan Stapleton now working his way in the top 10? He just made his way around Skylar Taylor for 7th. Well, maybe not. Taylor going to battle back there on the top. Stapleton says not so fast. Draws back to the left rear quarter panel. And Taylor will clear as Stapleton gets really loose off of turn 4. A little further back, how about 3-time winner from last season, David Dixon? Trying to make a move around the outside of Anthony McCrory. That would be a 9th place battle right there. Add Cody Majoric into this mix. David Dixon coming into this one, currently 11th in points. 21 points out of the points lead. Cam Wright Jr. has looked really good here in the early going, but David Dixon not quite as much, and he was the most winningest driver in the Duracell Ultralight Series last season. See him yawing on the wheel right there. Did you see how the front end of that car was turned? How far it was turned? That's a combination of yanking on the wheel and the back end not wanting to plant. Now Anthony McCurry starts falling back. His teammate Autumn Brooks now trying to pick up a spot. Kyle Langland right there as well. Might have thoughts about going 3 wide into the corner. Ooh, Autumn really loose. As I think the caution might be out. Yeah, the caution is indeed out. It looks like we have another incident on the back straightaway as Colin Grace will pick up the pace car here. 3rd caution of the afternoon. And it might have involved this time the Jack Daniels number 19 of Juan Garcia. Some front end on Craig Batson. 2nd incident he's been involved in today. And we talked about how Aubrey Powell was falling through the field. She might also have gotten a piece of this incident. 3rd caution of the day, more than likely going to be the caution where the most damage is sustained. Not a whole lot of contact back during the first yellow, and then a phantom caution, if you will, bringing out the 2nd yellow flag. Here's a look at what happened. Oh, wow. Yeah, the 19 got really loose there behind the 8 of Wes McCoy. And Craig Batson didn't have enough time to be able to check up as Juan Garcia was trying to gather that Jack Daniels Super back up there in a very precarious area of the racetrack. There was further contact a little bit further ahead there as well. We'll try and see if we can figure out what that was and who was involved. Here's another angle of it off of turn 2. 19 gets all sorts of sideways. Craig Batson has nowhere to be able to go. And I think the contact I saw further up might have been the 71 of Aubrey Powell getting into the wall. But then as everybody was trying to catch back up to get lined up here under pacing, I believe we had a stack up on the backstretch. And I believe it involves the 91 of Craig Batson. Watch here as everybody's just all kind of stacked up, and 91 just doesn't slow in time, gets into the back of the Interstate Batteries Toyota, and that hurt Craig Batson a lot more than it did Aubrey Powell, as Craig with the hood buckled up now on his machine. So 3rd caution of the afternoon. Colin Grace out in front has led the last 11 laps. Sarah Fogelman has led the most with 27. Rudder Crown Jr. has led 6, and Eli Bright has led 1. So far, no other manufacturer other than Toyota has led this afternoon at Phoenix. Nearing the halfway point of this race as well. We'll get to that point around lap 47's completion, so not too far away. And we'll remind you again of what's coming up around the turn, presented by NNSCRA Paint Designs. We finish out this race weekend tomorrow afternoon at 1 with the Cobalt Tools 125 with the Duracell Next Gen Cup Series drivers. And then next week, we're at North Wilkesboro, nighttime racing for qualifying and for racing. Let's kick things off on Friday at 7 with the Duracell Ultralight Series pole day qualifying. Saturday at 5 is the Cup drivers on track for their qualifying session. They will then be followed at 7 p.m. by the Duracell Ultra Light Series drivers, and then Sunday at 7, it's the Cup Series drivers. 6th race of the season for the Lights and Cup Series, respectively. And that's coming up around the turn. Presented by NNSCRA Paint Designs as lights are out atop the pace car, and we're ready to go back green. So Colin Grace, the race leader. Michael Turner will be second. Mike Tellier in third. Sarah Fogelman will line up in fourth. Chris Dollerton fifth. Then it's Nathan Stapleton, Skylar Taylor, David Dixon, Roberta Crown Jr., and Autumn Brooks. That is your top 10. Your maybe 3 best cars on the restarts are lining up first, second, and third. So this should be a really good battle when the green flag flies once again. But remember, they've got about 10 to 15 lap old tires there. Not a lot of grip to be able to work with, especially as it's cooled down now. Those worn tires are going to be very slick going into turn 1. That's not going to deter Mike Tellier. He's going to go for second place on Michael Turner. Halfway clear down the back straightaway. You see that car get loose, though. Can he get back to the throttle here through 3 and 4? Looks like he might be clear. Turner doesn't have the grip to be able to battle with him and keep him at bay. Move Mike Tellier into P2. Turner back to third. His teammate Dollerton right behind him in fourth. Good battle for fifth. Nathan Stapleton on the move. Stapleton with not the best of performances last week at Pocono, dropping 4 spots in the standings, but he ran so well in the first 3 races. He's still 9th in points. And working his way now up into the top 5 as he will get around Sarah Fogelman for said position. David Dixon now going to battle with Sarah Fogelman. That'll be for 6th. You got Autumn Brooks in this vicinity. Same for Skylar Taylor, Berta Crown Jr., Kyle Langland there as well. Starting to see a lot of your top 5 in points making their way up here towards the front as Colin Grace looks in the rearview mirror. Brand new challenger. It's the 3M Ford Dark Horse Mustang of Mike Tellier. And he closed up a lot right there just through 3 and 4 alone. Got to be careful there. Mike got really close to the back bumper. Might have considered the bump and run. As now he'll look to the bottom here. Through the dogleg, right down on the rumble strip with those left sides. Can Tellier complete the pass on the 27? He doesn't necessarily have the preferred lane. Was really shallow going into 3. Had to lift through the center. Colin Grace will hang on for now. Teammates will battle for third. Dollerton trying to get around Michael Taylor. Make that Michael Turner, rather. And Nathan Stapleton with a fast car was able to fill in that gap before Turner could close the door. Now it'll be side by side for 4th, or will it? How about 2 for 1? Stapleton going to try to get both the M&M cars here on this lap. Go from 5th to 3rd. And he's bringing David Dixon's Chevrolet along with him. David Dixon is the only Chevy inside of the top 10. He's the only Chevy inside the top 14. You got all the way back to 15th place, Cody Majorek for the next bow tie. Stapleton clear to 3rd. Dixon looks to move to 4th. And now Autumn Brooks also on the move, right now in 7th. Trying to get around Michael Turner and Chris Dollerton also. She is currently the highest running of the Mazdas. Back up to the front, nose to tail, Tellier and Grace. Colin Grace has the advantage with the fact that he can choose which lane he wants to run through the corners, forces Mike Tellier to do something different. At a disadvantage, though, because Mike Tellier's got a front bumper and could move Colin Grace out of the way if he so chose, but looks again to the bottom on the 27. Gonna stay alongside here through 3 and 4, drifts up the track a little bit there. Can he stay to the left rear going into turn 1? If he can, I think he's got him. And indeed he does. Through 1 and 2, hooks the bottom of the racetrack, and Mike Tellier becomes the first non-Toyota driver to get the race lead here this afternoon. Remember, we had a Ford on the pole position, but Jackson Haywood did not lead the first lap. Eli Bright did. So this will be the first official lap led by a non-Toyota, as it's the Ford of Mike Tellier now out in front. Mike Tellier, former Duracell Next Gen Cup Series winner back in Season 5 at Homestead. Also runs part-time for Bishop Family Racing in the Cup Series. Tried to pull off the double here this weekend, but failed to qualify for the Cup race tomorrow. Now Colin Gray's trying to preserve the second spot, but that 27 might have fallen off just a little bit. Tellier got around for the lead. Stapleton all over the back bumper for second. David Dixon right there as well. How long did they remain patient? Doesn't look like very long. Almost looking 3 wide. Little contact right there, I think, between the 97 and the 45 coming off of 4. As now Stapleton will have the inside line advantage through 1 and 2. Not quite able to clear down the back straightaway. Going to have a shallow entry here into 3. Can he drive it in deep enough to slide up in front of the 27 of Colin Grace? Colin trying to get back to the throttle to draw even. Can't do it. Stapleton will clear for the spot. Colin Grace now moves low. Blocks any run that David Dixon might have had to try and go for third. Matter of fact, Grace is going back for second. The crossover. Michael Turner looking on in 5th place. Autumn Brooks got around Chris Dollarton to move into 6th. Now, Autumn is going to be pulling the double here this weekend. She qualified for the Cup race. Going to be starting up inside of the top 5. Getting some good experience here as well in the Lites, where she runs full-time. Autumn Brooks coming into this race currently 18th in points. Jumped up 5 spots in the standings after Pocono last week. And having another solid outing here. And she's alongside of Chris Dollarton. That is the 5th place battle ongoing right now. Correction, 6th place battle. Big gap though when you fall back to Eli Bright, who currently is in 8th. Ralph Mason in 9th. Kyle Langland in 10th. These 3 might want to get themselves organized single file, not really worrying about battling each other, because they could have a shot of getting up here to the tail end of the top 7. And be able to then work their way further forward, maybe up into the top 5. Well, in the early portion of this race, it was all Toyotas. All of a sudden, the Fords have come to play. Tellier to the lead, Stapleton into 2nd. Then you got Michael Turner and Chris Dollarton in 5th and 7th. 4 Fords. Looks like 2 Toyotas, 1 Chevy, and 2 Mazdas right now comprise your top 10. Colin Grace, before the lead was taken away from him, had led 20 laps, 7 laps shy of taking the most laps bonus point from Sarah Fogelman. Who, by the way, Sarah Fogelman has faded back now quite a bit. Last time by, she was scored in 18th place. I think she's back. Yeah, she's back here. Cam Wright Jr. in the 95. We've talked about him, but not really looked for him. He started this race from dead last. He's made up ground, but not much. He's 20th place right now, trying to get 19th from Kat Batson. How about Roberto Crown Jr. back here in the 18 car? He was up inside of the top 5 for a good portion of the beginning of this race. He has since faded back to 22nd. And a bunch of drivers back here, including hometown driver RJ Bishop. Fortunately for him, he's not running for points in this series, but this is not the run he was looking for in the Lites race nonetheless. And despite the damage on the hood, Craig Batson still battling pretty well here with Juan Garcia and Dave Smith. Aubrey Powell is back here as well as Brody Kupski. Not a very good day for Adrenaline Motorsports, as right now they've got most of their drivers running back towards the rear of the field. Kupski in 29th, Dave Smith in 26th. And I'm trying to find where their other driver is. Thought they were a 4-car team. Maybe they're a 3-car team. Nose to tail, top 4 now. Tellier had opened up a bit of a gap between himself and Nathan Stapleton, but Stapleton has since closed up to 2 car lengths. Colin Grace still very much in this, and David Dixon there as well. Michael Turner and Autumn Brooks are also closing in, so 6 drivers throw a blanket over them here. And the battle for the race lead, potentially the race win. I believe pit road is now a complete non-factor. Fuel will no longer be a concern. Tires, maybe, depending on if we see another yellow. We've had 3 cautions so far this afternoon, 2 of them for cause, the other one still kind of up in the air of what happened. We assume something happened with Cole Koibe, but we're not 100% certain. By the way, good job by Cole Koibe. After losing all that track position prior to the second caution, he has since worked his way through the field up to 13th place and trying to put the pressure on Skylar Taylor for 12th. Nose to tail up here at the front. Let's see if we can fall back to that battle. There's Cole Koibe, our winner from Manassas, hounding our Daytona winner. Looking low in the Vitamin Water Toyota. And going to complete the pass. Very easily completes the pass there through 1 and 2. Next on his list, Cody Majoric, right now in 11th place. Majoric been very quiet this season. Still looking for his first top 10 on the year, 16th in points, average finishing position of 15th in his first 4 starts. He's kind of been a mid-pack driver here at the beginning of the season. But all it takes is just that one race, whether it's a top 10, a top 5, a win. It'd be just what you need to get that spark, hit that consistent streak, and all of a sudden look like a playoff contender. Brooks and Turner for 5th. Michael Turner 10th in points coming to this one. Of course, a former winner a couple of weeks ago at Las Vegas, but right now in line to potentially point his way back up into the top 7, not have to rely on his win for a playoff spot. As David Dixon showed the nose there, and now he will show his hand going into turn 1 on Colin Grace for 3rd. Boy, it's looking like it's tougher and tougher to make those passes on the bottom, though. Tires worn down, not a lot of rear grip when you try and get back to the throttle on corner exit. Seen a lot of these back ends slip sliding around. David Dixon not able to yet complete the pass the shorter way around the racetrack on Colin Grace. Now I believe he has off of turn 4. And Nathan Stapleton right there with Mike Tellier. Both these drivers know what's at stake here. 20 laps to go next time by. As a matter of fact, you look right now, the entirety of this front group from first back to 6th, all full-time drivers. Michael Turner, the only one amongst them that has a win this season. Turner and Dixon, the only 2 that have a Lite Series win in their career. So you got to know what it means for the drivers that have yet to pick up a win here in Duracell Ultra Light Series competition, like Tellier, like Stapleton, Colin Grace, Autumn Brooks. We've seen drivers not afraid to use the bumpers here this afternoon. Guarantee you they will not be afraid to use them in the closing stages if it comes down to it between them and a checkered flag. Whoa, David Dixon really had to bail out of the throttle there. Tellier checked up Stapleton almost into the 45's grill, and Dixon paid for that as he was very, very wide through 1 and 2, and that brought Colin Grace back to his bumper to battle for 3rd. Dixon will try and break away again, get back up there to the 97, who in turn has lost some ground to Mike Tellier. Tellier has enough laps here where he could end up taking the most laps led bonus point. Sarah Fogelman led 27. Mike Tellier just led his 21st. And there's still going to be 18 to go, 17 and a half here on the back straightaway. So still plenty of time for Tellier to lead the most laps this afternoon. Talk about RJ Bishop, mired back there in 27th. Arizona driver trying to do well here in front of his home crowd. Might get a little bit of a consolation prize if Tellier wins this race because RJ would end up picking up the win as an owner. Mike Tellier, the full-time driver for Bishop Family Racing, the 16-car and all-star car that is ferried between all four of the Young Motorsports Cup Series drivers this season. RJ Bishop, Dylan Young have already taken turns behind the wheel. We'll see Eric Sadler and Destin Bolin at certain points during this season as well. Just giving them all extra added experience at the respective racetracks we go to. The Lite schedule and the Cup schedule follow each other quite a bit and usually run at the same track on the same weekend, so an opportunity to be able to get more laps, a little bit more track time. Thought I heard an idling engine up ahead, but doesn't look like there will be lap traffic coming into play. Aubrey Powell and Brody Kupski are just now coming out of turn 2. The leaders were coming out of turn 4. There's a full half racetrack before the leaders would get to the tail end of the field, so that is a fortunate thing, as now David Dixon trying to bring one home for the Chevrolets. We've yet to have a Chevrolet out in front here this afternoon, and Dixon trying to do just that. Looking to the bottom on Nathan Stapleton. Stapleton looks to get the power back there on the top side off of turn 4. And I believe he's going to clear the 45. Does he go down in front of him to throw the block? Yes, he does. Meanwhile, as they stacked up there, Michael Turner gets alongside of Colin Grace for 4th. Mike Tellier right now just keeping both eyes out the windshield, not worrying about the rearview mirror. Stapleton tried to have a higher entry into the corner there, almost cost him. Dixon tried to get to his inside, not able to. Now he'll show the nose down to turn 1, waits for that last-minute move so that way Stapleton doesn't know if Dixon's going to go for the pass or not. Catches him out. And Dixon, ooh, I thought he was going to clear on the back straightaway, but he got his left sides on the rumble strip, got really loose. That lost him some straightaway speed. But he will get back to the throttle through the center of 3 and 4. He'll clear and move into the runner-up spot. Now a new challenger for Mike Tellier to have to deal with, as Tellier crossing the line that time just eclipsed the 27 laps led by Sarah Fogelman with his 28th lap led. So now Mike Tellier in possession of the most laps led bonus point. We've got some Lites drivers running in Cup this season, and we've obviously got some Cup drivers that have come down here and run in the Lites races, but we have yet to have a driver have a win in both the Cup Series and the Lites Series in their career. Mike Tellier today could be that very first driver. He got his first Cup win, his only Cup win up to this point, back in Season 5 at the Homestead Miami Speedway, driving the number 55 for then Gunther Motorsports. We now know that organization today as Garage 55. Mike Tellier about 10 laps away from maybe picking up his first career win in the Duracell Ultra Light Series. At Daytona, Skylar Taylor tied David Dixon for most career wins in Duracell Ultra Light Series competition. Dixon, if he's able to pick up the win today, he would then stand alone again at the top of that leaderboard with 4 career wins. And Nathan Stapleton, he's still looking for his first career win as well in his second full-time season of Lights competition. Get the feeling it's going to come down between one of these 3 drivers as Colin Grace has kind of fallen off. Autumn Brooks there in 5th. They're not up here with this group. If they start battling, they might be able to catch up. But the question is, we've gone so far into this run now, how much grip is left in these tires? You can make a move, yes, but how much confidence do you have that the tires are going to allow you the mobility you need to complete the pass? Dixon's going to try it. To the inside of Tellier for the top spot. Through 1 and 2. Tellier with a nice run on exit. Dixon. I was worried about him getting down to that rumble strip. He might have him here. Nope, had to lift. Had to lift on entry. Tellier drove it in deep. Not quite clear. Dixon still looking to the inside. Ooh, early break there for Mike Tellier. Dixon was the one that drove it in deep this time. Tellier draws back, and if you're Stapleton, are you looking maybe for a 3-wide option for the top spot? This time, Tellier carries more speed on entry. Does he drift too high, though? Dixon also slides up the track. Tellier back to the throttle sooner, and I think he's going to clear back for the top position. And that battle did indeed bring Colin Grace and Autumn Brooks back into the conversation. Maybe not necessarily for the win, but it stacked them up enough. They might be able to get up into the podium before all is said and done. What a battle here to close out the Basha Supermarkets 94 at Phoenix. Tellier, Dixon, Stapleton, Grace, and Brooks. Dixon again shows the nose. Oh, makes contact! Bumps Tellier up the track. Tellier gonna battle back here alongside, though, down the backstretch. Stapleton looking for a lane. Can't find one yet. Tellier again. He was able to hold off Dixon on the top side last time. Ooh, I don't know if he'll be able to this time. Yes, he will. He'll draw even. But Dixon's got a nose out in front going into turn 1. And Dixon likes this corner. Tellier trying to stay to the right rear of the 45. I think he's still there. No, he's not. Dixon's clear. David Dixon clears for the top spot with 3.5 to go. But Tellier's not going away quietly. Way up the track as he drives it in deep into 3. He'll hold off Nathan Stapleton for second, or will he? Stapleton's still there. Brooks to the inside back there of Michael Turner in a battle for 4th. Tellier again going to hold off Nathan Stapleton. So now, does Tellier have enough time to reel the 45 back in? Dixon out in clean air. That's the first time a Chevrolet has led the entire race, and it wasn't until we reached less than 5 to go. 2 to go this time by David Dixon. Tellier trying to close up. Trying to hold off Nathan Stapleton on defense. Trying to close up on the 45 of Dixon on offense. About 2 car length separation. Dixon cannot put a wheel wrong. There's too many drivers too close to capitalize. Dixon up the track. Tellier up the track. These drivers screaming for rear grip as they get back to the throttle up the corner. White flag in the air. 1 lap to go here at Phoenix. Tellier is there. Stapleton is there. Ooh, a nice exit off of turn 2 for Dixon. Opens up the gap down the back straightaway. Does Tellier have one more shot? Dixon gonna hug that yellow line. Drifts up through the center. Arcs it off of 4. And David Dixon, he's gonna pick up his first win of the season. He's a 4-time winner in the Duracell Ultra Lite Series as he takes the Basha Supermarket 94 at Phoenix International Raceway. What a battle in the closing stages, and David Dixon jumps back to the top of the all-time winners leaderboard, his 4th career win. And a driver who came into this race just outside the top 10 in overall points may have just won himself a playoff berth here this afternoon in the desert. Chevrolet looked like they were pretty much out of it this afternoon. It was all Toyota, then it was all Ford, but David Dixon did not give up. Made some daring moves to the inside of Mike Tellier. Finally, it paid off. And after he got the race lead, Mike Tellier just used up his stuff too much. Could not get back to him. And David Dixon was able to win this race pretty handily in the closing stages. Had about 2-3 car lengths going into turn 3 on the final lap. to be able to cruise on home for the win. Standings, I believe, are official, and here they are. David Dixon becomes the 5th different winner on the season. He'll win over Mike Tellier and Nathan Stapleton, your podium. Colin Grace will bring it home in 4th. Michael Turner will finish the day out in 5th. Autumn Brooks gave him a run for that 5th spot, but she'll get 6th. Kyle Langland was 7th. Eli Bright in 8th. 9th place for Ralph Mason, and great comeback run for Cole Koibe after he started, I believe it was the 2nd restart in dead last. He brings it home inside of the top 10. Cody Majoric will get 11th. Nathan Fogler, another good run for him, just outside the top 10 in 12th. Chris Dollerton faded to 13th. Anthony McCurry also fell back to 14th. Jackson Haywood started on the pole, fell back outside of the top 20, worked his way back to finish in 15th. Sean Galligan, Skylar Taylor, Cam Wright Jr., Jordan Anderson, and Kat Batson, your top 20. Remember, Cam Wright Jr. came into the race as the points leader, started shotgun, finished 18th, but I don't think that's going to be enough for him to leave this afternoon as the new points leader. I'm pretty sure we're going to have ourselves a points lead change. Who it's going to be, I'm not 100% certain. Maybe Skylar Taylor, maybe Kyle Langland. Langland was only 4 points back, and he finished 7th, so it might end up being the 26th. Look further on down in the running order here. We had a total of 3 cautions, 2 of them for cause. A number of the drivers involved in said incidents finished pretty far back in the field, including the 91 of Craig Batson, the 71 of Aubrey Powell, and the 41 of Brody Kupski. But all 29 drivers did finish and on the lead lap, despite the 3 yellows that flew this afternoon. But nonetheless, a lot of drivers that really needed good runs that were running well in the point standings did not get them this afternoon, and we're going to see a lot of shuffling, I feel, once again, in the point standings heading into North Wilkesboro next week. But congratulations to David Dixon. Southern Cross Racing gets their first win of Season 2, as Dixon gets his 4th career win overall in his Duracell Ultra Lite Series career. Hope you guys enjoyed today's race here from Phoenix. I can't wait for tomorrow. If this is any indication of what we're going to have in tomorrow afternoon's Cup Series race, we are in for a treat. If you enjoyed today's race, be sure to give this video a like, subscribe, become part of the crew today. We showed you your full feature results. You're now looking at your point standings, getting ready for North Wilkesboro next weekend. Until then, I've been Seth Cole, and you've been watching another broadcast of NNSCRA TV, offline racing at its best.
The following has been a presentation of NNSCRA TV for the private use of our audience. Any other use of this telecast or any pictures, descriptions, or accounts of the game without the consent of the NNSCRA is prohibited. NNSCRA would like to thank all of our loyal fans, and we hope you enjoyed today's broadcast.